Kristen Noem is out. Markwayne Mullins is in. What does this mean for you? A change of the Department of Homeland Security Secretary. What will this mean for you if you are a naturalized citizen, if you are a green card holder, or if you are a visa overstayer? So what I definitely want to share with you today is the possible changes that will come under a new secretary for the Department of Homeland Security, but also some solutions as to how you can move forward. I have been undocumented. I have been through the entire immigration system, but I'm also an immigration attorney now. So my job is to make sure that you know the latest and the newest immigration updates, but not just knowing the information, how you can strategize, prepare, and plan for it. So let us jump into it today. So under Kristen Noem, we all know that it feels like there was chaos, right? Some people might say it has been the worst immigration enforcement ever. Some people might be happy and say, well, finally there seems to be some type of enforcement. Whichever side you fall on, it was intense, right? It's the most intense immigration enforcement that we have ever seen. But what stood out to me the most is under her guidance, there were 170 US citizens that were actually detained by ICE, and there was actually 8 to 10 US citizens that were actually removed. And as you know, with Minnesota, there were 2 US citizens that were killed. So what caused this? Was it under her leadership, or was it a matter of not enough planning, not enough training, or we will never know? But the one thing that stands true is that she's no longer out, and Mullins is now in. With Mullins in, and based on his background, there are 3 things that you can expect under a new DHS secretary, right? The first thing that you can expect is there's going to be an overhaul of enforcement by ICE. What does that mean? It means that they are going to re-strategize. This means that there can be a more targeted approach, or there can be increased raids, but it is more organized, it is more detailed, it is more planned. So it doesn't mean that there will be less ICE enforcement. It can also mean that there will be significantly more, or it's just going to be more targeted. So there might not be a change, but the DHS secretary has to align with what the president wants, which is 11 million undocumented immigrants to leave the country. But what they will take into consideration is the public backlash of US citizens getting detained, of US citizens getting deported, of even people who are documented, people who have visas getting detained and living in fear. This is something that they might address, but we might still see an increased amount of more targeted ICE raids, more people getting stopped, and same thing, more enforcement. There isn't anything that we can do about that, but I definitely foresee there's going to be some type of overhaul, and they might listen to what the left and the right is saying. Number 2, there will be more broader DHS priorities. What does that mean? So typically, Department of Homeland Security, they prioritize the security of the country, the security of the border. So we might see a shift in funds going towards cybersecurity, a shift in funds going to internal relief, because as you know, there was a pause on FEMA for some areas that were affected by the hurricane, right? We also might see more enforcement at the border, more security placed at the border, because those are typical enforcements by DHS. What does that mean for you? And that will bring me to point 3. It means that there might be a shift in funding. There might be a shift in funding to the border and a shift in funding to those type of DHS priorities. So that might affect people who are now applying for their green card, or people who are now applying for business immigration, such as EB1s, EB2, NIWs, if there is a shift in priorities as to where DHS funds will go. So those are the 3 major changes that can affect you, right? In terms of enforcement, more targeted, and social media. I mean, if they're going to go cyber, they will be even diving deeper into social security and anything that has to do with online usage. Those are the 3 things that you can expect to see under a new regime of the Department of Homeland Security. But what can you do about it? I have to tell you about the story of my client, right? Which is how naturalized citizens or US citizens have been facing challenges. So I had a client, he came in, he had some criminal charges against him, right? There were some felony charges against him that has now put him into ICE custody. So once I got the case, I looked at it, and yes, he did have felony charges, but there were not convictions. He was set for deportation, right? So when I looked at how he entered the country, I realized that he entered the country as a green card holder. He had a US citizen mother. His US citizen mother petitioned for him, and he entered the country as a green card holder. So I said, well, we need to investigate when that mother became a US citizen. Because if she became a US citizen before my client turned 18 years old, well, then by law, he automatically becomes a United States citizen. So if you petition for a child, the child enters the country as a green card holder, and you as the parent become a US citizen before that child turns 18, by law, that child will now become an automatic US citizen. So once my firm and I, we looked into that case, and we definitely were able to get a hold of the naturalization certificate. Guess what? Yes, he became 18 after the mother turned a US citizen. So he is a US citizen in ICE custody. We called the family. The family is excited to hear this news, but they're also nervous because they're like, how didn't DHS or how didn't ICE catch this? So now it's our job, and we are now against the clock. So they didn't want to give him bond, even though he was not convicted of these charges. But in immigration court, once you are charged of certain crimes, the immigration judge can look at the pleadings, and whether you are convicted or not, they can make a determination that you can be held and you can still be deportable even if you were not convicted. So those were things that we started to fight. So we filed a couple motions. We couldn't find him after a while. Guess what? He was already sent to Miami and getting ready for deportation. We sent all the documentation to ICE. They did not want to hear it. They were getting ready to send him home. I stated he is a US citizen. Here is the naturalization of his mother, and he was under 18 when she became a citizen. They're like, well, you need to file an N600. And I'm like, well, you have to keep him in the country so that we have the ability to find an N600. Long story short, right, the day before the flight, we were able to get in a motion and say that this is a US citizen that you are about to deport. And what I realized is that a lot of the ICE officers, a lot of the employees within the DHS, they are not aware of certain laws. They are not aware of certain procedures. And this is why some US citizens got deported. This is why you have a lot of people getting detained when they have a valid right to be here. They have the valid paperwork. They have the valid process in play. But because of a lack of education and a lack of information, they are either detained for extended period of time or deported. And I know some people are going to say, well, if he didn't commit the crime, then he wouldn't have been in that situation. Sure, right? But I mean, you have US citizens. It's life. People do things. People regret it. Mind you, he's in his 30s now. So this happened years ago and he was not convicted. So I say that to say, I hope that under this new secretary, there is more training for ICE officers, for DHS employees, and for everybody that is involved with ICE enforcement. What can you do now under this new regime, under this new governance of Mark Wayne Money? Here are the 5 things that I definitely want you to do, whether you have overstayed, whether you are a green card holder, or whether you are a naturalized citizen, because it seems that moving forward, none of these are actually secure. Number 1, fix your taxes, right? Because it can definitely trigger a public charge, or it can definitely trigger some type of felony. Make sure you take care of that, because it is something that is being used more and more when it comes on to either you petitioning for a family member or you trying to apply for your US citizenship. Number 2, avoid long trips. If you are a green card holder, you cannot stay outside of the country for 6 months because they are enforcing it now. People are going to say all these things have been around for a very long time, but guess what? Now enforcement is 10x. All laws that have been there forever, They are being put into play right now. So yes, these things might have been in play, but they are more enforced now. So avoid the long trips, because if you stay outside of the country as a green card holder for more than 6 months and you're trying to come back in and you do not have the valid paperwork, they can say that you have abandoned your green card status. Number 3, if your petition, whether it is your first green card petition or it is a removal of conditions and it's based on marriage, make sure you strengthen that evidence. You have to take it seriously now. You can't just have random tax returns saying that you're married but filing single, or you have different leases, or think that only a lease and a bank account that you don't use is now sufficient for any type of marriage-based process. Even if it's a marriage-based process to where your child is now relying on it, they are going to dig back into that marriage to ensure that it was bona fide and that you have the proper documentation. Number 4, clean social media. That is what DHS is all about, right? They are going to ramp up cybersecurity. They are going to ramp up looking at social media to see if you're doing anything illicit, anything that goes against US policies, anything that is anti-Semitic. Make sure your social media is clean. For any process that you're doing, even if it's just applying for a visa, make sure your social media is clean. It's the easiest thing that you can do. And I've seen people get in trouble from it, even US citizens with criminal cases and immigrants with pending cases. And last but not least, before you file for your naturalization, make sure you have an audit of your previous case. I'm getting way too many cases now of people who decide to file for US citizenship, but then they take a bite, they take a second bite at the apple and look at your entire immigration history, and you're now rehashing issues that you thought that you got over, and even denying the citizenship and putting people into removal because of things that happened before. So you want to make sure that you do an audit before you actually apply for your N400. I hope this helps. I'm your immigration attorney, Sékou Clarke. If you like this video and it was helpful to you, like, share, and subscribe to somebody who might need it so we can keep them coming and doing more for you.